career at the upper levels of that other series we just talked about. There's always that possibility. What they're going to do is they're going to release a special shirt and hat, okay? But this is a package, okay? It's a shirt and hat for $100 to help with expenses. Now, if you've seen these shirts and hats, these are some great shirts. They're put together by Race Print, okay? Shirt-hat combination for $100. But for your $100, there's 2 other things included, okay? You also get your name on the shirt and on the car that Bryson will drive at the Chili Bowl.
Well, that's a heck of a good deal.
I think listen,
I think I'll do that. I'll give him. I'll pledge $100 to him.
Moxie Media is already in. We've already talked with Charlie. We made the deal. We know, hey, we're there to support Bryson, and they've done a lot with us in the past. And
absolutely.
Thought we'd return the favor. So you will see Moxie Media on board with Bryson at the Chili Bowl.
So Moxie will be at the Chili Bowl on Bryson's car.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
Now, it sounds like Northwest Trucking Academy is going to be there too.
Game on.
And we'll talk with some of our sponsors here on the show to see if they want to back him. I mean, I just think it's a neat opportunity to help a kid that really has a shot at great things.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're going to get a great shirt. You can go on. Charlie's got them on his page. Really, and if you want to bring those up and get a picture of those and put them on Moxie, we can do that right now. Great looking shirt, nice hat, and your name on the car and on the shirt. I think that's cool. For the money, we're in. We're gonna do it, and we talked to Charlie and confirmed that with him today, and it's a neat deal. So that also. Well, I guess we'll just go into this right now. We're just about on time with this on the time frame. Bryson will be racing, and this is funny because I had to do a lot of research shortly before the show started. We'll be racing on December 17th, okay, Saturday, December 17th in Duquesne, Illinois.
What?
Okay? Yes, he's going to Duquesne, Illinois at a track that is it's an indoor track, okay? It's a 1/6 of a mile. It's not much bigger, if any, a little bigger than Salem. But they're going to run, it's an indoor midget race, okay? You got to remember, Bryson's never been in a midget. So he's going back to this race at Duquesne to run and get a feel in this car he's going to drive at the Chili Bowl, okay? It's a 55-lap feature, and it's called the Junior Nepper 55.
Ooh.
Okay? It's in honor of Walter Nepper, who was famed midget sprint car owner. Okay? I did a little research, and as of right now, there are 59 cars pre-entered for the show. Of those 59, listen to some of the names on this list. Brady Bacon from Oklahoma, two-time U.S. Two-time national sprint car champion. Corey Kruseman out of California. How many titles does that guy have? I mean, countless when it comes to non-wing sprint cars. One of the best, ever in the western half of the United States. He'll be there. The Thomas Meserol will be there, another driver, another standout out of California. Some hardcore competition. Brett Beauchamp, Indy Sprint Week feature winner, will be in a midget at this show that Bryson will be at. Chris Urish out of Elkhart, Indiana, won the Ted Horn 100, okay, Silver Crown race. Joey Saldana will be in a midget at this race in Illinois, banging doors. Hopefully it'll be with Bryson in the in the feature. And Tony Bruce Jr., 2006 Knoxville Nationals Rookie of the Year, also another pilot of one of the cars here at the. The race is actually held at the Southern Illinois Center. It's an indoor race, great facility. I did a little research on it, checked it out online, did a little YouTube, watched some YouTube races on it. Pretty cool little track. I mean, it's slicing and dicing though, man. You got midgets on an indoor. They say it's a 1/6 of a mile. Things got a little hot and heavy in some of the races I was watching in the heats and the features, and these guys, on a track that short, there's no time to be patient. You got to go, and you got to go now. Mm-hmm. That's the name of the game. Chili Bowl is the same way. Now, the format they're going to use is Basically the same as Chili Bowl, okay? They're going to award position advancement, passing points through the prelims, okay, and heats and qualifiers. That sets up the feature, okay? So you got to go hard. You got to go hard to get into this thing. Last year's winner, there was 60 cars total last year. We've already got 59 cars pre-entered, okay? Last year's winner, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now listen.
Wait. What does he do for a living?
He's a NASCAR driver.
Is he any good?
Well, it's about as good as his girlfriend, if you ask me. But anyway, he won this race last year. But this now hold on. That win for him probably had to mean more than even anything he's done in NASCAR, and this is why. He took the lead with 4 laps to go. And who did he pass?
Kyle Larson.
Brian Clausen.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. One of Brian's, we lost him last year.
Yeah.
So I think for him, I know, I just got chills talking about it too. That had to be a huge win for him personally. To pass Brian Clausen in a midget, you're doing something. That's a big win for anybody. So you're talking Stenhouse, you're talking Clausen and Saldana and Cruzman and Bacon. You're talking about some hardcore open wheel competition. This is not going to be easy. For anybody, let alone a young man who's getting in a midget for the first time on an indoor track. That's a sixth of a mile where it's bumper to bumper. It's go time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be good because he hasn't been in a midget before.
Well, this right here, I don't think you could ask for better training. He's going to get one shot to get a feel for this car before he goes to the Chili Bowl, the biggest midget race ever in the history of the world.
Exactly.
There's going to be 300 cars there, not 60. You know what I mean? And it's going to be 300 of the best from all levels. World of Outlaws, late models, midgets, sprint cars, asphalt, dirt, NASCAR. You get the best of the best, and what a huge opportunity for Bryson.
Absolutely.
Give you some background on this. Walter Knepper was an accomplished car owner, both midgets and sprint cars. 58 career USAC victories, okay, as a car owner. Listen to some of the people who have driven his cars to victory lane. And I'll save the best. I think that I think the 2 best for the last, okay? So he's won races with George Snyder, okay? Dana Carter, his son Steve Knepper, an accomplished driver in his own right. Mel Kenyon and Rich Vogler have both powered his cars to victory lane. You can take the other 3 names off the list just to have those 2, Mel Kenyon and Rich Vogler, to say that those 2 guys have driven for you in midgets. That's like saying you had Bloomquist or Earnhardt or Kinzer, the best of the best at every level. Mm-hmm. Those 2 guys right there.
Having one of them on your list is an accomplishment.
Both of them?
But both of them, wow.
Phenomenal. So this race honors him, okay? Bryson will be in the number 45X. I think that's a number that's actually owned by Johnny Herrera. I in my research on this race, okay, I found some interesting rules, okay, what they call. Listen to this. It's an open Hoosier tire rule. Any tire you want, as long as it's under the Hoosier brand, okay?
Okay, fair enough.
This I thought interesting. No weight rule.
Duh?
No weight rule.
Well, that's not fair.
No weight rule. I read that, and I had to read it a couple times. I said, wait a second. That's got to be a misprint. I read it, and it wasn't just one. I looked at a couple different pages to make sure, wait a second, that something's not right here. Looking at all these different formats, other sites that had releases on this. It's all there. No weight rule.
So, now, I have a question now. Is Chili Bowl that way? Or do they have minimum weight? Is this a midget thing?
I don't know. I'm thinking that this is probably something for this race. Okay. I can't see Chili Bowl, and I might be 100% wrong on this. I can't see a big race like Chili Bowl saying no weight rule. listen to this.
They call it a free-for-all? Is that what it is?
So with no weight rule, there's also no rev limiter rule.
Well, that's your own dang fault. If you blow up your motor, game on.
So you know how a lot of places they'll chip, you chip the motor, whatever. Have at it, boys. Put her to the floor and let her ride. Okay, no weight, no rev limiter. Okay. The last two, as surprising as that second one was with the no weight rule, the last two I read and I just couldn't understand. Listen. You think that second one was kind of weird? Listen to this one. No USAC license required. No USAC, which I don't think is. I mean, given now, had this was somewhere like, a third of a mile or a big fast nasty track like Winchester or something like that, you better have a USAC license. There's going to be some.
Well, I'm looking here on the USAC website in the 2016 rule book, and they do have a weight rule.
Okay.
1,035 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Not at this race, they don't.
I'll tell you, even though 1,035 pounds
is light.
That's nothing.
It's light.
I mean, that's nothing.
Right. When you're talking, 4-cylinder engines, and I do believe they are fuel injected. Am I correct when I say that, Joel?
I'm looking right now because, honestly, I don't know the first thing about midgets or sprint cars.
I'm not going to tell you that I do because I don't. But I do believe, much like the sprint cars, that the midgets are injected. Warren? I don't know. He flipped me off. No, that didn't happen. He's over there working on a cart. Listen to this. This was the one, all the rules that are, highlights, I thought, when they were listing this stuff, that blew me away. Listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
No entry fee.
Wait, what?
No entry fee.
Somebody buy me a midget. I'm going racing.
I know it. Well, I know. I said that. I said, wait a second. I mean, you've got to have some pretty good sponsors this race to go ahead and throw no entry fee up there. You want to get cars to your race? There you go.
So they're putting anybody at any level, any kind of money, backyard guy, professional, bring it on.
That's kind of what I'm gathering out of those 5 things that I just read. I mean, no weight rule, no rev limiter, no entry fee, and no USAC license.
There'll probably be engine manufacturers there with extra engines to sell.
Well, and here's the thing: is USAC on a 3/8 or less, you don't have to run a rev limiter on any USAC and midget.
Right. Now, IMCA is different.
IMCA, you better have a chip in there, or
yeah, that's right.
Or you're not just getting kicked out; you're getting fined.
Well, and who did we see? Who did that happen to in the last couple of years?
I can't remember.
I do at Willamette Speedway. Ken Schrader. Remember that? They got in his MSD box, and he said, didn't even realize, I think he had a, what did they say, was it supposed to be a 6400 chip?
For a 604, it's supposed to be a 6400.
And I think for whatever they were doing at whatever track they were at with the car before, he had a 6600 or whatever it was.
Oh, boy.
But you know what? He gave the money back.
Hey.
He says, you know what? He goes, I didn't even realize, he said. He didn't even realize the chip was in there, and he said, honest mistake. He blew one motor up and hot laps that night, pulled the car out, and went out and won the race. And then that's when they realized, hey, chip's illegal. And he says, we didn't even think about it. Gave the money back, and it was like no big deal to him, I mean, obviously. But what do you think about this stuff, Joel?
The weight rule still throws me for a loop. I don't. When you're running a pure methanol motor with no weight rule, dude, that to me is.
How light can you get a midget? I mean, seriously, I'd like to know.
I would too.
How light you can get one of those cars.
It'd be interesting to see. I mean, I've never played around with a sprint car or a midget, so I can't tell you how light you can make it, but I know what you can do. There's a lot of things you can do with a tube chassis in general to make it light. Some of those are secrets, and I'm not going to tell anybody any of them.
Right.
But being involved with a race car, and when you start talking on the level we're talking here, you get pretty crafty. I mean, there's definitely some tricks that have been played. But when you start talking a no weight rule, I mean, that's where, I'm not trying to poke fun at anybody. That's where Rico Abreu has a distinct advantage.
Sure.
Over anyone.
Anyone. I mean,
hello.
And that also benefits teams with big money.
Exactly, because you can go out there and spend money.